got dogs. Where I get those dogs?
Alright, here we have a dog that came to us for a 2-week board and train. This will be the first time he's ever been on a treadmill. So what you want to do is bring him up slowly to the treadmill and start him off at a slow speed. I use the prong collar because it gives you a nice conversation of what you want from the dog. So we'll start off really slowly. Now here's the important part. You really have to, some dogs will kind of freak out more than others, and you have to stick with it and communicate to the dog really what you want the dog to do. Otherwise you will not have success, because some dogs will really fight you. And you'll see this dog throughout this video kind of fight it a few times, but what we have to do is really concentrate on our conversational leash work with this dog in order to keep him walking smoothly and keep him doing what we want him to do. So he's kind of confused, as you can see his head moving side to side, but I have to be really careful with how I steer him so that I can keep him on the treadmill. If you don't pay attention and the dog falls off, you could take 2 steps backwards, because then you're going to have to get him out of that fear of falling. So it's really important to pay attention with your leash work right from the beginning. So like I said, you want to start off at a slow pace, but you also want the dog to gait smoothly. So if you have to move up, move up. Just read the dog and be able to visibly see if he's in a smooth gait like this. So that time, that was my fault. I didn't pay attention enough, and he was able to turn and look somewhere, but I caught it quick enough. Now if I didn't catch it, he'd probably be off the treadmill. We do not want a dog to fall off, because we'd be taking 2 steps backwards. So we have to be very, very meticulous on our conversational leash work in the beginning stages of teaching your dog how to walk on a treadmill, because he has to feel safe. He has to get over that initial fear. And it's a great exercise because it builds trust from him to you. So the more bratty they are, or the less discipline you have with your dog on a daily basis, the more times they're going to try to get off. But now he's looking like he's in a nice smooth gait. Now this treadmill work is a very good tool for dogs that have a lot of fears and are anxious about things, because it gives them a job to do while those things that make them anxious and fearful are still happening. So the dog gets desensitized by all of the noises, all of the ruckus that goes on in day-to-day life, and he doesn't get an opportunity to deal with it himself, because we're giving him a job to do. For instance, if your dog is scared of fireworks, construction, even the mailmen, the big trucks, and all of that, dogs don't have the opportunity to really deal with it themselves. So they kind of be desensitized to it because they have that job to do. They have to walk here. So the treadmill can be a very good mental exercise. But like I said before, do not let this be a substitute for the walk. It's just a supplement. The other thing is you have to work to not joystick your dog on the treadmill. You might have to at first, but always work to less tension. So now he's kind of protesting. As you can see, his head's down and his gait isn't as smooth as it was. So I'm working to get him back to that smooth gait that he was showing before. See, he's ducking his head. He's ducking his head. We got to stick with that so that he comes out of it on his own, because it's his protest. He wants to stop. He doesn't want to do this, but we have to get him through it. I'll work with two other dogs. So you see now Zeke is in a smooth gait, back in that smooth groove. We have to keep him there. I'd say one or two more sessions of being this attentive, he should be able to be tied up, and we don't have to be on top of him. Now, don't ever leave the room. So read a book, sit on the couch, but always watch him. Don't ever leave the room with the dog on a treadmill. And here we have a puppy about 11 months, somewhere around a year. I've actually done work with this dog, so I wanted to show you guys this one, because this is a good example of how quickly, if you have a good foundation of conversational leash work, how quickly they pick it up. He's still going to give us a little bit of unsureness at the beginning, but like I said, I've worked with this dog before, and he'll get it really quickly. So you'll actually see him slip off of the treadmill, and I want you guys to note that he will self-correct himself because he'll feel the pressure of the prong. It's important not to panic at this moment, because the dog will be affected by it, and so the dog needs to work through certain issues they by themselves or on their own. See right there. So he kind of self-corrected. Now normally if he does it again, I would shorten up that leash so that he doesn't fall off the treadmill. That's something that you don't want. But at the same time, you do not want to micromanage when you don't have to. So now he's in a smooth groove. The dog before Caribou, or this dog, was I'd never worked with before, so I had a little bit more of a challenge getting him into that smooth groove and keeping him there. But like I said, if you have that foundation, the transition is much smoother, as you can see. So this is Hank's. This dog is about around 3-ish, female, never been on a treadmill before, but I have taken her on walks before, so she has pretty solid foundation with the conversational leash work, but you will see a struggle. Now, sometimes some dogs will try to come up off the treadmill, so you see me put that leg up to kind of block them, to keep them from coming off of the treadmill. You might have to do that with your dog. The gait is not really smooth right now, so I'm going to turn up the speed. So she's fighting pretty hard. See that butt trying to go down? All we're looking for is acceptance. Another thing to remember is not to talk a lot on the treadmill. I would limit to say, you know, when they get it, say good girl, but not a lot of talk. The talk is going to get them to be a little more antsy, and you just want them to keep them focused. So there, I wasn't on my micromanage game. Got to be a little bit more attentive to Hank. We're always working to get to loose leash so we can have the dog move freely. So you can kind of see it a little bit, but the leash is kind of bouncy. I know she's putting her head down, but there you go. That's a little better. This is a great exercise because it's an acceptance exercise. The more pretentious the dogs are, the more times they're going to try to get off. But it's really good for those type of dogs because they have to be doing this. And it's not hurting them. It's just a great mental exercise. So here's a good little note. Whenever you stop your treadmill, do not let them jump off. Always. Now I'm just going to restart her, but I just want to tell you guys, when you're done with the treadmill work, slow them down and slow it down to a stop. Do not let them panic. Again, work through all of that, even slowing them down to get them to stand. And then make them sit before they get off of the treadmill. So she's a taller dog. I'm trying to switch up the lengths of things. So I've got 3 carabiners. And I'm still using the other leash as a little guide. The other thing to try to avoid is not petting while they're on the treadmill. Try to avoid that because affection really will get them antsy. So if anything, maybe a little pat and a good boy, or a good girl, but not much more than that. Because they will try to get in that panic mode again. They'll try to resist. Even little dogs, all sizes of dogs can get on the treadmill and get some exercise done. Good mental exercise for all dogs, all sizes. The other good thing is, what you can do is have an aggressive dog in a down stay and another aggressive dog on the treadmill, and it helps with desensitizing the fear of being around other dogs. So this last one is Dasher. He's a blind and deaf dog. Just wanted to show you even those dogs can do treadmill work if worked correctly.
This is what I'm doing.